South African President Cyril Ramaphosa welcomed dignitaries and delegates from across the world as he addressed the opening of the G20 Finance Ministers meeting in Cape Town. He urged G20 nations to strengthen cooperation as fractures in the global order widen.
At this time of heightened geopolitical contestation, a rules-based order is particularly important as a mechanism, as a way for managing disputes and resolving conflicts. It is vital to ensuring that the rights and interests of the vulnerable are not trampled beneath the ambitions of the powerful.
South Africa is the first African nation to lead the G20, and Ramaphosa stressed that multilateral cooperation is the only way to tackle mounting challenges, including rising debt burdens, slow and uneven growth, entrenched poverty and inequality, and the existential threat of climate change.
We are not moving quickly enough and even boldly enough to address the challenges that the world is facing. We must collectively target a step change in our efforts to improve the lives of the peoples of the world, but more importantly, to protect future generations.
The absence of finance ministers from some of the G20's largest economies, including China and the United States, could make it more difficult to reach consensus on key issues outlined by South Africa. One of the top priorities is scaling up funding to respond to climate-driven disasters, as many African nations struggle to afford the costs of recovery and rebuilding.
The climate challenge and the development challenge are so intertwined that you cannot talk of growth and poverty without addressing the climate issue. But I think that it is looked at holistically, and every time we look at the need to address climate finance, it's really done in the context of our growth and poverty challenges.
Debt sustainability is also expected to dominate discussions. The combined external debt stock of low-income countries more than doubled between 2012 and 2022, and many nations are struggling to keep up with repayments.
There's a new phenomenon where the finance that is allowed to implement the primary projects, whether it's SDGs or climate action, is actually creating a reverse of capital flows. So you find that developing countries are paying much more, and also capital flows are also leaving because of the arrangement.
The G20 finance track has in the past brought stability to the global economy in times of crisis. Under South Africa's presidency, it must confront deep-rooted inequalities that continue to define global architecture and effectively deal with challenges that marginalize African nations. Julie Shara, CGTN, Cape Town.